straight.
Yeah, peace, 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 everyone. Dr. Bass, such a pleasure to literally be in your presence to have the opportunity to share this message with as many people on different platforms as possible. Peace, peace, bro. How's it going?
Oh yeah, it's going good, going good. What about you, man? How you been?
Man, like I already told you before you hit the record button, yeah, where I am right now, normally this is my little shade area in the at the back of the house, but like now the sun is heading in a more latitude yeah, travel since we're heading into the spring equinox, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, definitely, bro. Normally, like here where I'm located in the Caribbean, specifically on St. Martin, for those of the people who are watching this did not know. Yeah, normally it would have been like in the month of February, it would have been like super chilly, especially at night, because we don't really experience cold like that. It's the Caribbean. It's mostly a sunny region and whatnot. But I'm telling you, bro, like since the month of February, it's been freaking hot, especially during the daytime. And these solar activities, the solar flares and the celestial activities and whatnot. Oh, it's lighting up. And for those who don't have melanin, well, what could I say? Uh, all the best with the sun blocker, whatever. I don't know what to say, Brandon. I don't know what to say, bro.
Yeah, at this point, like they gonna have to use that sunscreen like it's like some like body wash or something like 'cause they gonna
Fuck, man. I'm telling you, they're gonna have to do something, man. And it's not me making fun of them because, hey, that's just how they are. That's just their physiology. I mean, really stop and think about it. Like we've said in the past before, we live on a melanated world. The plants are melanated. The plants have their own form of melanin by way of chlorophyll. The trees, even the animals have some kind of a protection, specifically when you're talking about the animals who are mostly active during the daytime, the diurnal animals, the nocturnal animals being those who are mostly active at nighttime, of course. But suffice it to say, we live in a melanated world where even down to uh, us melanated people. And it's interesting because, especially when I go to lectures from brethren like Dr. Phil Valentine, specifically Dr. Phil Valentine. On a few occasions, he literally went into how in certain ancient Egyptian texts, if I'm not mistaken, I can't recall which texts, but specifically if you look at the hieroglyphics and whatnot, you would notice that Osiris, who's the Lord of the Perfect Black, sometimes he's even depicted in the color green. And I find this to be very interesting because we know that the trees and the plants and the bushes and whatnot, they're all green. And especially during the fall time, the trees, they literally shed their leaves because they're going into hibernation and whatnot, and the leaves become brown. And going back to what Dr. Phil Valentine said specifically at the time, it's very interesting when I recall how, when you see it reflected in nature, how the trees and plants, whenever they shed their leaves, the leaves automatically turn the color brown. So that really got me questioning, is our melanin even in in a sense like it's how can I say, it is like it has degraded to a point? Because could you imagine, and I recall brother Rashad Jamal, he mentioned the time how we used to be many different colors. We even used to be like right now in Africa as we speak. If you go into certain nations in Africa right now, there are people who literally give a darkish blue type of hue. Even young Pharaoh himself showed it. You could literally look into their works and do your own research to see, because bro, these are brethren who are far more educated, who are far more educated and far more qualified to explain this stuff than you and I could ever wish to do it. But hey, we're literally leading people to those sources so that they can see for themselves. But it really got me questioning. As when your time comes to answer, that you could give your own take on it, bro. Perhaps our melanin has even degraded to the point where, yeah, we're not even operating on the color spectrum that it should be operating on. But not just that. if you really stop and think about it, even when you look at biblical stories like with giants and whatnot, which was really nothing more than stolen mythological depictions and concepts that came from far more ancient mythology, specifically when you look at Greek mythology and even on ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs. When you look at when you look at the ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs, you would see giants and whatnot. So not only were we different colors, but we were also far larger in size. And not only that, but I recall watching a video documentary from the channel I keep recommending you, NWAPU, NWPU, where they explain specifically how the atmosphere, think about it, even these scientists with their degraded science, they keep explaining about how hundreds of thousands of years or cycles ago, even the atmosphere on this world was not the same. And we've always been in this world, Brandon. We were always here. So that means the way we used to be hundreds of thousands of cycles ago can't even compare to what we have become now, to show you how degraded we've truly become. But the message today, bro, all in all, going back to what it is that we said, regardless of however you want to take it, with this world and whatnot, we have reached a point, especially where the people who could run the current system that is thankfully collapsing right before our very eyes. I mean, let's be real. The cracker system is finally fucking collapsing. They're doing everything that they can to try to keep this bitch alive. And sadly, a lot of dumbass melanated people, and it pains me to say it, a lot of dumbass melanated people are doing everything they can to keep it alive for this beast. And even the Bible itself goes into how it got people worshiping the image of the beast, i.e. people with straight long hair and whatnot. They even got our women so fucked up that they're wearing blonde wigs and whatnot. I be watching these sisters and I'm like, y'all be so good looking with your plump lips and your natural puffy hair and whatnot. And I'm like, you literally gotta look like these so-called white women to make yourself look good. But guess what? The subconscious mind cannot differentiate between reality and fiction. If you look at an image long enough, you start to accept it as beautiful and reality, when that could not be any further than the truth. I can't remember if it was you, Dr. Bass, or it was, no, I think it was one of the sisters who I be communicating with regularly. She sent me a picture of a so-called white woman who literally did some kind of a surgery. You swear on, if you saw her picture on the first one, about Dr. Bass, you would think that it was a sister. You would think that it was a melanated sister. Nah, this is a fucking white girl who did some kind of a surgery, made herself look like a sister. So you see how they got everything going fucking backwards, up and down, left and right? Like they literally turned everything upside down. Are women trying to look like these other women? And these other women are literally trying to look like our women. We've been here for millions of fucking cycles. Our women were always the standard of beauty. And when you look at the Victorian dresses of so-called white women from the 17th century and whatnot, you see like how their dresses tend to have big behinds and whatnot. Guess what? You go in Africa or anywhere in the Caribbean right now, you find sisters with naturally big buttocks, bro. Like literally, like, they're just so plump and natural and good looking with their features. But I'm not here to discuss how we were always great and how the fall literally took such a toll on us that now, just like what Brother Panic said, may he be in a better place. We have to always continuously cultivate our spiritual capabilities. We have to literally always reprogram our spiritual software, because Robert Anton Wilson in his book Quantum Psychology, remember that the brain itself is nothing more than the hardware. It's literally the physical tool that we use to literally access the software of the computer, which we're really tapping into. And the mind itself is the software. We're not even talking about our own mind. We're talking about the universal mind, which Jehuti, the ibis-headed god of wisdom, record keeping, and alchemy and whatnot, that's what he represents, the higher universal mind. I'm not talking about that feeble, limited human mind. You know what I mean? And I know I'm already getting deep into it already, Dr. Bass, but I mean to say we should reach a point as well where, because of this fall and whatnot, people have accepted this crackers system to the point where we've even become so afraid of death. And death in and of itself is a fucking illusion. It's not even real. If people don't open up their spiritual eyes, because melanated people, big shout out to Dr. Layla Africa. You could read his book African Holistic Health. I recommend that book. Dr. Layla Africa, African Holistic Health. Write it down. But in that book, he basically explains how, number one, we don't even catch colds. The the cold or flu is literally the body's response to when you to the toxins and the poisons that are already in it that it's trying to flush out. Every mechanism that the body already came with to cleanse itself, the cracker calls it a dis-ease. And he's literally the fucking manifested incarnation of fucking disease itself, and yet niggas are literally okay with this beast. Yeah, let me not even get into that, Dr. Bass. We've probably already spoken about it many times in the past before. Suffice it to say, people have accepted this cracker system to the point where they're even afraid of dying. I really feel that the problem with niggas today is that they're fucking afraid of death, brother. When in ancient times, literally just as far back as 1,000 years ago, we were never afraid of dying, my brother. As a matter of fact, if you look back in ancient Egypt, in ancient Greece, as well as every other civilization that predated it, and as well as all the other ancient civilizations that coexisted around those same time periods, hundreds to thousands of cycles ago. This is exactly what Brother Panic mentioned in a video that I saw recently, not long ago, where he explained, yeah, the ancients, they left everything behind for us. They told us everything already. They literally showed us, and that's not even counting all of the scrolls, books, and papyruses that the Vatican, the Catholics, and all these museums in European countries have stolen and still have within their miles and miles of libraries to this very day. Our ancestors literally told us, "You fucked up by coming down here, and now it is your absolute duty to cultivate yourself, to literally rise and ascend beyond this physical body, so that you could literally move to another threshold, to another plane of existence, because this is the animal realm that we live in, Dr. Bass. We are literally living in an animal realm. Think about it. People, we live amongst people who literally have fur on their head. If you really stop and think about it, I'm probably gonna have to share a brother's video during this live so that y'all could literally get into it yourself. But a few good movies that you could watch is 1990. I can't remember, 1995 Congo. You could get into the movie Doctor yeah, the Island of Dr. Moreau with Marlon Brando and Val Kilmer. You could, I think that was a either a late 90s or early 2000s movie. You could get into the early 1990s Frankenstein movie with Robert De Niro. Robert De Niro stars as the Frankenstein monster himself. And yeah, another movie, Harry and the Hendersons. I think that was a 1980s movie. Yeah, that's just a few movies that I could list off the top of my head, explaining how we literally live amongst genetically modified people. Literally. Like, forget every movie, every TV show, every cartoon you've ever watched. This reality that we live in right now, we live amongst fucking genetically modified people. And guess what? The people who are deep into the occult within these ethnic groups and whatnot, they already know this, Dr. Bass. It's niggas in their stupid asses who cannot fucking see that we live amongst animal based people. They have fur on their head, bro. Make no mistake, if we were to, like you and I as melanated men, if we were to get with any one of these women, they are going to bear us children. So by that logic, it should tell you that yes, they still have a strong human component to their being, but they're still animal based. These are the mortals that the mythologies be talking about, whereas they don't see us as them because they already know that we are the gods that these very mythologies, even Christianity and its completely distorted ass, be talking about. Dr. Bass, I'm looking to get to just jump into the videos right away, but yeah, I already said a mouthful. That was already like a lecture's worth right there, bro. And yeah, pardon me if I just got deep into it, but spirit has to share, spirit has to speak, and spirit has to literally put people on. And for the people who are not of our ethnic group who be listening to these videos, hey, I wish you be listening to these videos. I wish you be listening to these messages. I wish that you be getting into the fucking lectures and the lives that yeah, brethren who are far more qualified than me and Brandon here have already spoken about years ago and whatnot. And you could even get into books like Honorable Elijah Muhammad's book, the Yaqub the scientist. Yeah, and you could get into young Pharaoh as well, who already got into it. I mean, ever since so-called COVID time, which remember when I explained earlier about how we don't even catch colds, Dr. Bass? That's just based off of the germ theory, because bacteria are literally a normal they are normal microscopic beings that exist on the microscopic level within this realm. I mean, it's an animal realm. You have to see this realm for what it is. So if bacteria, for all intents and purposes, if we are covered by millions, if not trillions of bacteria that also exist within our guts and whatnot. So to which the brain, when you get into the sacral chakra, if I'm not mistaken, the third chakra, which is based off of the stomach, which dragons also emit their energy to breathe fire from. And yeah, dragons are real entities, but hey, if people don't know this, they better do the research and see, like, know for themselves, right? So yeah, bacteria are a normal phase of this realm's makeup. So what the hell was fucking 2020 and all that bullshit was all about? Oh, coronavirus and this and that. You're afraid of a fucking virus and your body contains viruses as well? And not only that too, Dr. Bass, but it's very amazing they would even call it corona when the very corona, that the certain energies that the sun itself emits, the word corona comes from Latin, which means crown. Because you got to remember, it was during that 2020 period was when the different celestial activities started taking place. I wonder if it was because they were trying to lead people off based off of all the spiritual awakening that had to take place, and they were just trying to fool people into their global Big Brother One World government agenda. I mean, Brandon, at this point, if people aren't opening up their first eye or their spiritual eyes all over, because remember, us melanated beings are different from everybody else. Based off of Dr. Layla Africa's own research, and heck, even Bobby Hemmett's own research, we have, what, 12 base chakras? Us melanated people, we've got 12 base chakras. The whole seven chakra thing, that comes from so-called Indian people and East Asian people like Chinese and Japanese. And based off of what he said, and I can't confirm if it's true, but so-called white people only have two fucking chakras. So I'm like, geez, it's no wonder these motherfuckers have a rough time going from physical to spiritual enlightenment, you know? Because they're stuck on the animal level. And the fact that their genes have a strong animal makeup in it doesn't make it any better. But whew, Brandon, I shared a lot. I fucking shared a lot right there. The first video we're gonna get into is the last video that I shared. Yeah, as part of the first six. Brother Panic's how spirits communicate with you or something like that. But before we get into it, yeah, take it away, bro, and break down everything that I just shared to the people.
Oh yeah, yeah, so for like the animal-based people, right? So since they're animal-based, but they're still humans, it's kind of like how we're spiritual beings based, but we are in this human experience at the same time. So it's kind of like similar as well. And then like for people who be eating GMO, you know how they always be saying like, "Oh yeah, you are what you eat." So it really, just, y'all people just GMO people is general modified people. So as you keep walking around like, well, as you keep walking around like different type of people, you be thinking they're human and thinking they're real and whatnot, but really it's not really people at this point. And then don't even get me started with soulless beings, but that's a whole nother topic. Um, yeah, but definitely, but know who you truly are. So if you really want to be connected with source, know who you truly are, and then raise your frequency and vibration to that level, then that's when you really are interconnected, and then that's how you all your like wants and desires can come in easily. And then pain is an illusion with the death. I feel like people are just scared to die because of like the painful experience, and they just don't want to leave like people and whatnot. But at this point, people are scared to die, but they want to go to heaven. So at this point, it's a decision. Which one do you want to pick at this point? It's like,
I mean, like we already spoke in our first live together, right, Dr. Bass? What's the big deal if you and I don't live to see tomorrow? You know what I mean? We don't come from this world. This is just a passing experience, such an ever temporary experience for us, you know? We're just going through a phase where we're literally the diamonds that are going through the pressure in order to come out of that experience shining brighter than ever, you know? So, like, for those melanated people out there who have that soul primordial darkness seed spark within them. This is just a temporary passing phase. Brother Panic already said it time after time when he was still in this world. This is not your home. This is not your realm. You don't live on the train. You don't live on the plane. You don't live on the bus. That is exactly the best analogy that I can give to this world. You are only passing by. You are only having an experience. The video that we shared with Dr. Mumbi in one of the lives that we did, where she literally said, based off of a Seven Bomar. Shout out to that brother. This realm that we're in, Earth, Gaia, Kai, Tiamat, whatever you want to call her, is just a processing center. You have to go through the experience in order for you to really see, oh, so this is what all the brethren were speaking about throughout mythology. This realm is a piece of shit. This physical body is a piece of shit. Big fucking deal if you don't live to see later or tomorrow, because actually, death is that friend. Remember how Billy and Mandy was friends with the Grim Reaper? Oh, he ain't the Grim Reaper. He's literally my partner. That's my partner right there. Yo, Grim, where are you? Hurry up, get me up out of this bitch, brother. I mean, seriously, Dr. Baz, they even put it in the fucking cartoons and whatnot. Death should be your number one friend because this is only a temporary experience. We were never afraid of death. The cracker was always afraid of death, as well as these other um how could I say, genetically modified people, because they were created on this realm. That's why they call them terrestrial, physical, because even in their Bible, it says that this realm was not always physical. This realm itself used to be spiritual. Even when you don't take my word for it, read Marcel Griol and Germaine Dieterlin's book, The Pale Fox, where the Dogon literally get into it, as well as when you read Robert Temple's book, The Serious Mystery. Oh yeah, we still be sharing those books. We still be sharing those sources of knowledge. We still be sharing all the necessary documents that people should be getting into in order to really start to expand their mind. Get your head out of that fucking Bible. Unless you're reading it esoterically and you're decoding it for all the messages that it has hidden within them, chances are you're just going to confuse yourself with all the fake history bullshit, because the Bible is nothing more than mythology historicized. They turned characters that were never existing to begin with into historical figures, when up until this day you can't find a single grave from Moses, from Abraham, from Jesus, from none of these fucking characters. And whatever how can I say, artifacts and whatnot that they do find from the so-called biblical era is highly questionable. But like what Dr. Layla Africa said, take a look at the pyramids up in Egypt right now. They're still standing to this very day from what, thousands of cycles ago. Who knows when those pyramids were built? Look at all the great temples and mastabas that could be found even where you are located, Dr. Bass, up over there in the what you call the US today. All the different monuments and great fucking look, even the Grand Canyon. I'm told that people are banned from fucking going into the Grand Canyon. And funny because I think I recall listening to Bobby Hemmett not long ago in one of his older lectures where he mentioned about how the Grand Canyon itself is banned, specifically where the ancient Egyptians used to be traveling up into the what you call the Americas today on a frequent basis. So you literally be finding figures of Heru and Aset and even Asar, who are literally the Trinity, so-called the Trinity concept. that many ancient religions have had, especially when you get into the triple goddess being the aspect of the great feminine, the maiden, the young woman, the mother, and the crone, the old woman. And even Barbara G. Walker gets into it in her books as well. You should really get her books. But yeah, this concept that Christianity took about Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, but that's a later day so-called patriarchal version of an ancient feminine concept. We live in a feminine world. Dr. Mumbi herself has spoken about it time after time after time. A woman could literally be chilling at a bar. She could walk topless and she literally get free drinks. Me as a man, I could walk butt naked with my dick out and whatnot. They call fucking cops, put me in a jail, put me in a fucking jail cell, bro. Like you could literally got gentlemen who clear off a dinner bill for women who be going out and whatnot. Me, I wish a woman could fucking do that for me as a man. Nope, that's not gonna happen. You know that's not gonna fucking happen. And the way even these people, these but even how they got melanated men treating their women and whatnot, a lot of these people don't even treat their women with the love and respect that they deserve, when we know, even based off of Hilton Hotema's books, based off of the ancient Egyptian teachings, based off of all the ancient teachings from the ancient world, that the female is literally the root and the trunk of the species. Kill the female and the species is pretty much done. Even among the animals, you already know that's truth and facts. When you look at chickens, it's the mother hen who raises her children. When you look at lizards, it's literally only the mother who literally has to take care of the babies whenever they hatch from the eggs for a certain time. After that, they're on their own. Time after time, you see throughout even the animal world that it is the female who is the root and the trunk of the species. And yet you see amongst these genetically modified humans that, yeah, they be treating their women like absolute dog shit. And much like how we got into it before, Dr. Bass, we really have to continue to hammer it into people's thick skulls so that they can get the message. White supremacy, based off of Dr. Frances Cresswell saying, may she literally be in a much better place right now. She already explained, even based off of her own countless research over the years, how you have to understand the so called white supremacy system in order to decode why white people feel so fucking insecure. They feel insecure because they know that they are a recessive people. They fucking know that any little drop of black blood, so called, within their gene pool, they're done. That child is not a white child. If I have a child with a white woman right now, Dr. Bass, you have a child with a white woman right now, not only will they be able to bear us children, hence why I don't see why you could call sex with these people bestiality. I mean, I guess they're an animal based people, but still, we could have children with them. So make of it as you will. Although I do get where the ancestors are coming from, saying we shouldn't be mingling with these people. But you would be an absolute fool to think that all melanated people are good. Brandon, based off of my own experiences, I know for a fact I could tell you 110% you got some melanated people that are worse than these fucking people that are sitting up in these governments and in these secret societies right now, Brandon. I'm telling you, Dr. Bass, based off of my own experience. Some melanated people are the worst fucking people that you could experience and whatnot. But this is exactly why Brother Panic already put us on. He already reminded us of what the ancients told us. You have to move beyond humanity. You have to grow beyond humanity. Don't ignore what humanity is doing, but at the same time, don't get yourself involved. Even Jesus himself, who is the symbol of a master teacher, already put it plain and simple. Be in the world, but do not be part of it. Either way, I didn't mean to cut you off, Brandon, but once again, the spirit has to speak, my brother. Take it away, bro.
Oh yeah, that's straight facts with everything you just said. And then like with like the men and women thing, like women we produce babies, but men can't. So that just really shows like how the difference. And for like all the other races out there, they just hate our power because we are so in tune and so in connected with our superpowers and everything like that. But then, like, for our bodies, it can heal itself, but they like to twist everything around just to make it seem like, oh, yeah, we can't do things by ourselves and everything like that. So that's why they want everyone to be dependent on the system and everything like that. And then the hardware is really like this realm, which is kind of like the brain and everything like that. And then the software is like the mind in this system. So it's like can't destroy the hardware because this is this realm, but we can destroy the software that was placed into our minds, which is like all those like narratives and everything like that. Because like the subconscious
All
mind,
those stories and all that bullshit.
yeah, you have to be like conscious about your subconscious mind and what you put into your systems and everything like that. And then even like some men
Yeah,
be
remember the brother who yeah, not to cut you off, bro.
okay,
The brother who yeah, one of the last lives that we did where he explained it's the marriage between the masculine conscious and the feminine subconscious. Be very aware of what you allow to get past your conscious mind, because once it enters your subconscious, and unless you do the work to cleanse and purge yourself of all the BS, chances are you are only going to be producing bullshit after bullshit out after self-inflicted pain, and that is what we should really always be aware of.
yeah, definitely. And then even some men be wearing like wigs too, and then like we all know like the collapsing system and we were giants back then, but I'll start the video now.
Yeah, Dr. Bass. And another thing that people should be aware of, right? Especially based off of your religion, based off of whatever spiritual system you're in. Hey, if as long even if you're in Christianity, as long as Jesus or whatever you want to call the energy that you are using, because we're talking about alchemical processing formulas and usages of energy. If the energy that you're using is literally uplifting you, by all means continue on that path, because we've said it time after time already. Dr. Bass's path, I mean, his path is not my path. My path is not Dr. Mumbi's path. Dr. Mumbi's path is not that of Dr. Phil Valentine, not that of Bobby Hemmett, not that of Brother Panic. Oh, that brother's out of here. He's literally better than me and you right now, bro, and you know that for a fact. Nobody's path is uniform. Everybody has their own path, but as long as the information that we receive we are applying it and it is benefiting us in some way, shape, or form, hey, by all means, I wish you nothing but the very best on your own journey. But don't do it like a fucking religion saying that, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that. Don't come with that bullshit, because then you're just making yourself one of these pimp pastors who's literally only looking to bank off of me and looking to keep my monkey ass down while your stupid ass is literally continue to get offering cash for your Lamborghini and your Ferrari and your Benz and all that stupid shit. And it's these melanated people who sell out to the system. They're going to get it even harder than the fucking cracker, bro. I mean, you can't hate the cracker. You can't hate these genetically modified people for keeping you down. You gotta hate our own melanated people. You really have to just be disappointed at our own melanated people for not knowing who and what they are. You know what I mean, Brandon? That's all I gotta say, bro.
Oh yeah, that's straight fast right there. Let me share the video.
Let's do this, bro.
Is people don't understand mostly the mentality to have or the context or the language of how spirits talk. You know, some would say, well, they talk in the ancient language of Metuneta. No, they don't. They talk in symbols. And since you are in a brain and you are human, the symbols that they give you, the brain reformats it in the same story form you call a dream or the same images you know every day. So what you actually have to become is a decoder of symbols and understand symbols. For instance, everybody says this. When you dream of fish, somebody's going to be pregnant. What you have to understand is fish represents the Vesica Pisces, and it represents new birth. It represents, well, the Christ is the fish. The resurrected Christ is a new birth, a new day, a new beginning, a new gateway. So if you see a fish in your dreams, instead of asking why your grandmother was holding a fish,
Right.
the symbol of it, knowing what a fish means your grandmother is she either went to a new level, let's say she was dead, she even went to a new level, or maybe going to a new level even if she was alive, or maybe something that she told you in a lifetime when you was a kid you need to ponder on, because it will bring you to a new gateway, a new birth in your consciousness, and these type of things. So when spirits are contacting you, it's very rare I get actualities. It is actual symbols that they talk. So you'll be on a train, let's just say, you know, traveling and going through. Most people have trains and reoccurring dreams on trains. Now, what I come to find out is those, what do they call those nerves in your actual brain? All of those folds and wrinkles. In the esoteric thing, it's called the tunnels of Set. It's also representing dimensions. And you seen in the second or third Matrix when Neo was in the trains and he was lost.
Exactly, yes.
Trains also represents the labyrinth. I think they call it the synaptic nerves in the brain. The train also represents the labyrinth. When you see those movies where they in these mazes, or the rat with the cheese, looking through these mazes to get the cheese. All that represents the brain, and it shows up in the dream as the train. So you'll notice when you're on these trains in these dreams, you're actually searching for stuff. So you would ask a question, you will find you on these trains, and the feeling, what I learned to understand is when I wake up and have one of these reoccurring train dreams, I would say, was I satisfied? What did I bring to bed, first of all? What question was I asking? What am I dealing? What particular study am I trying to deal with? And based upon the dream, it'll tell you how far you are in it. If I felt lost on the train, if I felt satisfied on the train, if I felt I had a destination on the train, if I felt someone was leading me on the train, or if I was leading someone on this train. All of these things that I feel happy about being on the train, all of these things are how you investigate and interpret a dream as opposed to sitting there worrying about the train. Once you understand the symbol of it, then you get to understand, you have to interpret it a little bit more holistically. And ultimately is how you felt about it, which matters the most. The emotion is very key to understanding. How you felt about it matters the most. So where do you go to start to be able to decode these things? That's what mythology was supposed to be for. That's why they teach mythology to you at such a young age, because every character in mythology is nothing more than a symbol. When you tell the story of the mythology, these are how these symbols interact with each other. So then when you grow up, more than Greek mythology that they told you, which is still ours anyway, we get into the Egyptian mythology. And then the key is, as a scientist, the first thing you want to start doing is corresponding these things. You want to be able to say, well, Osiris is nothing but Shiva in Hindu, or Set is nothing but Hades, and Oshun, Isis, Urzuli, same things. Sekhmet is nothing but Durga. Kali is nothing but Sekhmet as well. When you start corresponding and just reading the stories, you start to realize what you're reading is the symbols interplaying with each other. So once you start understanding these symbols through mythology, that's one of the first things everyone should deal with, not just Egyptian mythology, all mythologies, or at least get to know the characters and how they act. And then once you start seeing these things, and then you should be able to correspond these symbols to the human body as well. Correspond these symbols to colors, which are chakras. So once you make that as above, so below, as within, so without connection with these deities, you'll be able to understand the symbol that they represent, and therefore whenever these symbols start to show up, you'll be able to decode it. One of the easiest ways to start to test yourself is in movies. Movies are nothing but interplaying of symbols. In this case, it's a white agenda trying to use our symbols to become us. Symbolically with the hero figure, the love story, the villain figure, and you name it. You can go on for days. They're just, all these movies are nothing but our mythologies replayed over, just using their white faces to give them a mythology to line themselves up with symbols. So once we get to know the symbols, that's ground one. We get to see how they interplay. And then moving moving forward with a ritual, let's say you're trying to create a reality, you then start to use these elements and symbols to your benefit, so you can then create a reality based upon you understanding the symbology which exists within yourself, in the cosmos, and on Earth. You are collecting these symbols to correlate them to your specific reality. That's all they're doing in movies. For white people, the greatest ritual they have is nothing but movies. And it's even sad because they still have to use our shit to try to make it happen for them.
Right.
So once you get into the mythology, you don't have to go deep. I would suggest the first thing you do is just do the correspondence. If you're not going to read, I don't think we even have time to read Greek mythology, then Roman mythology. Get the book, the Dictionary of Ancient Deities. I think Patricia Stephen, Dictionary of Ancient Deities. When you read, let's just say Venus, if you look up Venus in this book, it will give you the correspondence of Venus. So it will also say Aphrodite, Isis, Kuan Yin, let's just say. So then you would look up Kuan Yin, you may find two others. You would look up Aphrodite, you may find two others. So this being the case, you will then find you have just studied 10 love goddesses. And when you read their little paragraph in this book, you would then be able to say, I have a more holistic understanding. So let's say the only thing you know is Oshun. To understand different levels of Oshun, it would be beneficial for you to have this book and beneficial to see what else corresponds with her outside of Ifa and, outside of even Voodoo as Urzuli. Something that's totally opposite. See what the Oshun is in China. So once you get this holistic understanding and the different stories, how they show up, what starts to happen is you get a greater holistic understanding of what it is.
Well, what can I say, Dr. Bass? I mean, we have another great teacher who, thankfully, before he left this world, he left a lot of good stuff behind for us, wouldn't you say? I mean, seriously, thank you so much, Brother Panic. And yeah, just explain to the people, break it down to them, all what Brother Panic shared, bro, because it's some good stuff.
Yeah, everything you were saying, like about mythology and connecting with like the different gods and goddesses is definitely important as you like keep transcending and ascending through your journey as well. So you definitely have to like connect with these beings because they live inside you as well.
Oh, definitely, definitely. And especially when he got into the symbols part and whatnot. There's a movie. What's the name of that movie again with Pierce Brosnan? There's a movie with Pierce Brosnan that I watched not long ago. It's a 1992 movie. I can't remember the name. I can't remember the name of the movie. But if you look at his movie history, it's a movie where the Lawnmower Man. If you get into the Lawnmower Man, yes, the Lawnmower Man. That's the name of the movie. Another movie I recommend people to watch because basically Pierce Brosnan, I think he works for a company and something like that, and yeah, they have some kind of a virtual reality program and stuff like that. And mind you, this movie is from 1992, so they're already telling you in the movie that that kind of technology already exists, my brother. Anything that they show you in these movies and TV shows, especially pertaining to technology, it already exists. It's just that they put that shit out maybe 5 or 10 years after they already perfected it. You know what I mean? So he and these people are working some kind of a virtual reality program. And essentially, when you get to what Brother Panic said about the symbols and signs and whatnot, you could even get into books like Sigil Magic and Sigil Magic from Philip Cooper, I think it was. Yes, Sigil Magic, because sigils and symbols are powerful because they are a language in and of themselves. And when you get into the virtual reality program that he himself tapped into within the movie, when he activated the program, you'll be seeing a bunch of ancient symbols, but you have to pause the movie when as you're going through these symbols because they're going by so fast, you know. So yeah, the lawnmower man, and John Carpenter. You know how you and I have spoken about John Carpenter already, bro. Like literally three movies, which he personally called his Apocalypse trilogy. And we know the word apocalypse means nothing more than revelation from ancient Greek. His Revelation trilogy, 1982's The Thing. Essentially, when you even fast forward to 15 years later with the original Men in Black movie from 1997, remember how we were speaking about beings that live among us, bro? How this reality we live in is stranger than any TV show, cartoon show, or movie could ever reveal unto us, bro. There are literally entities living among us right now wearing human skin. So that already shows you that being human in and of itself ain't shit. And I don't mean to deviate from what it is we're saying because you already know how it is with me sometimes, Brandon. But yeah, bro. So 1982's The Thing, 1987's Prince of Darkness, another good movie. Basically, it's explained Donald Pleasance and yeah, a Chinese gentleman. He passed away. Both men passed away actually. May they be in a better place now. But Victor Wong, yeah, Victor Wong, Donald Pleasance and Victor Wong both star in that movie. So that's essentially how they got into quantum mechanics. And like Bobby Emmett said, anytime they get into quantum mechanics, quantum physics, and that kind of stuff, that is the study of chaos. And what is the most chaotic element that can be found in this world within us melanated people? You guessed it, melanin, where they literally get into it and explained how even God himself, but even the Gnostic scriptures already spoke about it. Yaldabaoth's mother, Yaldabaoth, the demiurge who is also the god of the Old Testament, who's the god of the Bible, his mother is Sophia, who represents feminine wisdom. Donald Pleasance and Victor Wong's characters get into it in the movie. Like, it's some absolutely deep stuff. It's amazing how in these old movies they put the truth right in front of you. And I know that these are topics you and I could literally speak about for a long time, Dr. Bass, because I have learned, thanks to Bobby Hemmett and Brother Panic, don't look at these movies for entertainment value. You have to decode everything they say and basically whatever symbols they flash in front of your eyes. And one movie Bobby Hemmett himself spoke in a lecture a time, where the last John Carpenter movie from his so-called Apocalypse trilogy. He said at the time, when videos used to be popular, around those time periods, they were only renting that video, but they weren't selling it. 1995's In the Mouth of Madness. Ooh, Brandon, I'm telling you, watch that movie. Even if you don't watch The Thing and Prince of Darkness, which are really good movies in and of themselves, but In the Mouth of Madness, that is literally getting into some H.P. Lovecraft level esoteric teachings right there with Cthulhu and the great old ones and all those beings who are nothing more than a symbolic representation of us. We used to be these great beings, but now we're trapped in these human bodies, which is exactly why death, with Billy and Mandy, the Grim Reaper, death itself got to be your friend. You have to embrace death. You have to love death. You always have to live every day like you're going to die at any moment, because the day of death isn't even a day, it's a moment. Because that moment can literally come at any minute, any second, any fraction of a second, any millisecond. 1995's In the Mouth of Madness. Oh, these are definitely movies you should get into, but essentially based off of everything that Brother Panic shared right there. Yeah, Dr. Bass, just as we get into the next video with Dr. Mumbi, just share with the people what it is that they gotta know, bro.
Yeah, everything you just said is straight facts at this point. Like, I don't even know what else to say, but at this point, you get what I'm
Dr. Bass, the
saying?
spirit sharing, spirit speaking. True self has to let the people know. I don't care if you're so-called white or Chinese or Japanese or so-called Arab or Indian or whatever, melanated. It doesn't matter. Anybody can literally rise themselves up to a higher level. It's just we melanated people, we fell so fucking low from where it is that we came from. And even Bobby Hemmett himself mentioned in one of his lectures how the scientists who genetically brought these people into existence, they tried to see if they could even raise their spirit up. So that means to tell me that alchemically, if you get into the right practices and the right sciences, you could even raise a lower vibrational being into something higher. I mean, We live in an absolutely batshit crazy reality, don't we, Dr. Bass? I
Yeah.
mean, if that's not what it is, then hey, I don't know what to tell you. But suffice it to say, bro, when the spirit shares and it speaks, you gotta say it the way it is. I ain't no damn pimp pastor. I ain't no preacher. I ain't none of that. I'm just a brother. Um, being grateful for the opportunity I have with Brandon right here to share these truths and facts. We literally be sharing the sources, whether it be books, whether it be TV shows, whether it be cartoon shows, whether it be movies. The people have to know Brandon because at the end of the day, for us, it's about making ourselves as light as a feather, because who cares if we don't live to see later or tomorrow? Big fucking deal.
Oh yeah, that's straight facts. Definitely especially if people like don't like reading books, they can just watch these type of movies and get like the same type of information. So it really all depends on the person.
Definitely, definitely. So, yeah, anything that you would like to share before we get into the Dr. Mumbi video, bro?
Nah, I think you touched on everything right there. No kid.
We haven't even scratched the surface, Dr. Bass. We haven't even scratched the surface yet, but we're just doing what it is we gotta do to show people that we really want this. We really want heaven to manifest here on earth because we've been in hell for too fucking long. It's about time that literally switched around for the better. Their system is collapsing, and honestly, may that bitch continue to fall till it's no more.
Oh yeah, that's facts. Definitely gotta manifest that new earth and like that heaven on earth for us because the last shall come first and the first shall come last. Straight up.
Oh, definitely. These beasts, their time is up. Their system is finished, and everybody who's attached to them, just like in the Matrix movies. I mean, look, just go back and watch the Matrix movies. That's all. Forget all of the other movies. Just watch the Matrix movies and see what kind of a lie you've been living in and how you got to free yourself from those lies.
Yeah, I'm surprised they even made those. They even put out the Matrix movies, to be honest, because those joints be waking up so many people. Okay.
I'm telling you, Dr. Bass, Thai Spiritual, shout out to him. Like the Matrix movies, they can't do anything about it right now because the masses unfortunately are still nothing but sleeping sheep, bots, and zombies, you know what I mean? And guess what, that's okay because we were never here for the masses. Even when you get into Judy K. King's books, get Judy K. King's books. What is it, the Isis Thesis, Balls of Fire. Big shout out to the brethren on that channel. I can't remember the name of that channel. Oh, Primordial Waters Practical Matter. Yeah, when you get into that channel, they also have some Bobby Hemmett videos on there, but it just makes sense. You have to realize that you live in a virtual reality program. Remember the San Andreas games, how you literally control these characters and you be going around doing all kind of stuff, but the character believes that the world they're in is real, but you, the player, already know better that it's not real. It's nothing more than a sophisticated hologram, an illusion. And even on their channel, they where I shared the Donkey Kong Kabbalah, bro. I'm telling you, it back in 1981, they be sharing a fucking Kabbalah with Donkey Kong. So to show you these Japanese video game developers, I'm telling you, over in the East, bro, these people are without a doubt more tapped in than a lot of people out here in the fucking Western Hemisphere. But big shout out to Foster eBay because you need to remember information, much like the sun, rises in the east and it sets in the west. So they might be steps ahead, but eventually those in the west who have to get it, they will get it. And if I'm not mistaken, even the Gnostic scriptures, Bobby Hemmett mentioned how in the Gnostic scriptures the Christ himself mentioned about how even these other lower vibrational people, once they raise themselves up spiritually, one day, it doesn't matter if it takes thousands or millions of cycles, one day they're going to make it. Those who are going to remain low vibrational, hey, that's their problem because it was never about the masses to begin with.
Yeah,
It is
straight.
the painful truth, but it is what it is.
Yeah, facts, facts. Let me stop.
Chill, dude. Yeah. I really do pray, family, that you are well in all your ways and that you're moving into the sponsor of today's show, Beverly.
Oh, you already know how it is with Mumbi, bro. She got to give shout outs. You know she got to give shout outs.
Changed
Yeah.
to mumbi.seraki
Let me skip to like Dewey. Let's see.
how
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that gave
I
me.
think for her videos, what I usually do whenever I watch her videos, I usually skip to like 1 minute and essentially just under 2 minutes.
Okay, let me start
there
here.
are more
Let's see.
sophisticated levels of our soul, levels of who we are that want to manifest, but they cannot manifest when we are having certain thoughts or subconscious expressions about ourselves. They can't manifest because the foundation is too shaky to hold a messianic energy, to hold your guru self, your healer self, your most powerful manifester self. Because these fundamental subconscious things you've always been told about yourself that are not even true will sabotage you in the last minute. And that's why a lot of us have been empowered tremendously. We acknowledge the ancestors in the wind, the ones who have empowered us. How we've been empowered and we've grown in our gifting so much, but we still know that we haven't made it all the way. And it's because of these subconscious things, family. And it doesn't mean that we'll have to clear them all out before we can reach certain pinnacles in our own life, in our own power. No, 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 no. Not at all. But it means that we must be aware that those are the things we have to continuously remove from our psyche, from our mindset, from our narrative. And it's hidden. Sometimes we hide those things so deeply. But these are the things that trip us up. These are the things where you can be a highly evolved being, but you attract a crazy narcissist because of some of these small to issues that are still playing, some of these insults, these curses, because parents' insults are curses, family. Parents' insults are curses. The things they tell you you could never accomplish. For a lot of us black sheep of the family who were women, promiscuity was always thrown into that. Prostitute was always loosely thrown here and there. And that has blocked so many of our powerful goddesses and prophetesses from fully sitting in their power because of those things, those curses of shame and all this stuff. Some of them tried to use us to wash, use us to clean their energy, because they knew we were divine beings, they knew we were alchemists. And so they'd project all their hopelessness, all their pain, all their sorrow. And because we're empaths, we'd feel that. Because we're highly sensitive, we'd feel that. And sometimes mistake it as our own. But sometimes they were washing us. I mean, they were washing themselves with our pure energy. Where for no reason you're depressed at 11. Like, what do you have to be depressed about at 11? Unless those who have now manipulated. What have you seen at 11? It's those around you who have been either constantly projecting negativity onto you. Sometimes mothers could do damage just by being and feeling their anxiety and absorbing their anxiety and then their hatred and their thoughts towards you. Because some of us are mind readers, family. And now I think being this sensitive, because I've told you, I don't even know what happened to me as a child. There's a lot of black memory. They're coming back, but I really don't remember much, family. But I almost wonder sometimes, like, what was I saying as a child? If I'm this prophetic now, if I'm seeing on this level now, We acknowledge the ancestors in the wind. What was I saying? Who was I pissing off? If I'm pissing them off now and I'm an adult and they can't reach me because I'm in my power, what were they doing to me when I was speaking as a prophet at age 5 or 4 and exposing secrets in the family?
Yeah, pause it right there quick, please, Brandon.
That we are washing ourselves.
So you heard all that? You heard all that, Brandon? Only a few minutes in, and the sister already shared, and this was already, I think, maybe a week or 2 weeks ago, or some shit like that. Whatever it was, it's still just as relevant now, even more relevant now than it was than when she shared it, bro. I don't care if it's your mama. I don't care if it's your daddy. I don't care if it's your sister. I don't care if it's your brother, your auntie, your cousins, your uncles. It don't matter. It be the people closest to you who be fucking you up every single time. Bobby Hemmett already got into it, especially when you get into that level of what he calls no self, when you realize that I could tell you straight up, Brandon, right here, right now, the character of Andy Labardi, who's speaking right now, it's not even Andy Labardi speaking right now. It's literally the source itself using Andy Labardi's avatar to be sharing all this stuff with y'all. Andy Labardi himself is an absolute nothing, a zilch, a zero, a nobody, a nada. I'm telling you, that character ain't even worth considering, Brandon. But it is the spiritual being who is awakening to all the BS that's been going on for too long, and now it finally has to come to an end. It's that being that these motherfuckers gotta be afraid of. And guess what? That being doesn't even consider these motherfuckers, these beasts, these people who love this system as anything important. Because this being never had a beginning and it will never have an end. They had a beginning and they will have an end. You always got to be very aware of who you attract in your life, Dr. Bass. But the people who are on the outside, that they ain't nothing. Because you could always put those barricades and put those barriers, you know what I mean? The people who you grew up with, those are the motherfuckers you have to be most aware of. And like what the sister said, they be projecting their bullshit on you and be using your pure energy to wash their goddamn filthy selves. Just gotta put people on that, just gotta remind people of that, because the sister herself, who's far more knowledgeable and qualified to share this stuff, she's already letting us know. That's all I gotta share, bro.
Yeah, that's right, facts, because like it'd be like the ones that closest to you that try to like keep you stuck and keep you like keep you around. Just they just want us to be around them so they can use our energy, because we know dang well when we get around people, we elevate people. Like we elevate people no matter where we go, no matter who we come across, we raise the vibration of that person or that area. So of course they just want us to be stagnant and stay with them all, like so they can just use our energy, but they don't want us to move on. They don't want us to move forward. But at this point, we just gotta take our own lives in our own hands and just do our own thing.
Oh yeah, definitely. Could not have worded it better than you did, bro. You literally hit the nail on the head. You literally like hammered the nail right in both eyes as well. And you, like what Bobby Hemmett mentioned the time when he had a lecture with Dr. Phil Valentine. You ever just literally chilled next to someone? Not even chilled, maybe like you just temporarily sat next to someone, and then for some reason your energy like it started to get depleted. It's like you just suddenly become low on energy, bro. There are energy fucking vampires out here just for being next to them. They're able to sap you of your energy just for being next to them, my brother. Yo, bro, this is literally spiritual warfare, as even the damn Bible itself says. You know, you think you're fighting against flesh and blood? Oh, it goes way beyond flesh and blood.
Yeah, especially like if and then like when you get around these type of people, they just kind of like just like vent to you because they know you have that pure energy and you can like you're an empath, so they just vent like for like almost like long long hours and whatnot just to talk about nothing. But that's besides the point.
Oh, not even besides the point. You literally hit the nail right there, bro. They literally calling you up, saying they want to speak to you. and you're asking them right there on the phone, what is it that you want to speak about? They don't even know what the hell that they want to speak about. I mean, seriously, unless you could literally share something that could help not only myself but your own self elevate, because if what you're doing you can't even elevate yourself, there's absolutely nothing you can share with another individual. Straight up. But let's get back to Mumbi, bro.
Of that we are healing, and we would never have been able to heal around them, which is why they were removed from our lives. And it has been one of the most profound sacrifices for all the chosen ones to have gone through this heavy stuff, because we've been the ones healing it, because in healing ourselves we heal the world. In changing our minds, we change the mind of the world, the mind of the group consciousness. Damn! That was a massive bumblebee.
I love that response right there.
So in order to be happier, to be more calm, to be more at peace, family, put your healing first and dig deep into those subconscious things that you may still believe about yourself that are not true, and really analyze where they came from. This is the most important work you can do to gain power, to gain abundance, to gain love, whatever you're looking for in this world. That's where it needs to start. Anyway, special shout out to Beverly B. Definitely check.
Oh, that's it already? Damn. That was short, sweet, and to the point.
Yeah, I think in
But
the
yeah, Dr. Bass. But I mean to say, yeah, Dr. Mumbi, that's definitely one sister I recommend a lot of people subscribe to on both of her channels. The Dr. Mumbi Spiritual Show, as well as the Dr. Mumbi Show, where she covers more like local African news coverages and stuff like that, but it still has a lot of spiritual undertones to it, because the way that our brethren over there in the motherland, the way that especially the younger generation are rolling now, is not how the generation like you could say 30 years ago would have rolled. They would have accepted every goddamn thing based off of the age of Pisces and the absolute deep sleep that the system and the energies that they use against us. But now, bro, I'm telling you, especially since the majority population all throughout the continent of Africa, just as an example, is getting younger, whereas many other humanoids populations are getting older. I mean, there's really a cause for concern as to why they want melanated people to, especially to stay in the dark, right? But guess what? Much like Adolf Hitler, much like Napoleon before Adolf Hitler, we've already spoken about this time after time. These motherfuckers will gladly wipe out anybody else that isn't even melanated by the millions if they have to, because they don't give a fuck about y'all. They don't give a shit about any of you and your existence, because they want to stay at the top. And these motherfuckers, in their own delusion, in their own arrogance, they really think they're going to stay at the top. But if Charlton Heston's 1968 movie Planet of the Apes, if the ending of that movie is any indication, we're literally witnessing it manifesting right before our very eyes, the fall of the beast's empire. And as we've been saying always, bro, too bad for everyone who still wants to be part of this fake matrix.
Yeah, whoever wants to stay in the matrix, is their life. It's sometimes that's why when people start like waking up, they always try to like wake up like their friends and family and stuff like that. But I always tell them like, listen, like they gonna live their own life, and it's a struggle trying to wake people up who's not meant to wake up in this lifetime. So it's like at this point you're kind of wasting your time and energy, and you should just live out your lifestyle as an example. And the ones who are like get attracted by your lifestyle, then those are the people who you can really help and elevate.
Oh, definitely. You hit the nail right there on the head, my brother. Don't waste your time trying to wake people up who were never even supposed to wake up in this lifetime. And why is that? Because they themselves don't even want to wake up. People actually prefer the sweet lie than the bitter truth. Instead of just accepting the truth for what it is and raising themselves up once receiving it. Nah, a lot of people, especially when with the videos I already shared from Primordial Waters Practical Matter, where in Judy K. King's book, Balls of Fire, it is clearly said that the ancient Egyptian pharaohs and priests, they wouldn't really waste their time trying to teach the masses anything because they were already all too aware of the masses and how many of them would still stay asleep any fucking way. And that's just using a broad term for that kind of condition. But suffice it to say, people who are not meant to wake up in this lifetime, don't waste your time with them, because it's those same people who will really try to turn, who will look to come back and try to mess you up. So don't even waste your time. They still want to sing hallelujah, praise Jesus, want to wait on some God who already said he's not the God of the dead, but the God of the living. First of all, if he's the God of the living, then he can go fuck himself, because he never helped me while all my years of being so-called alive in this fucking realm. He already failed me. Me personally, he failed me tremendously at that. And he's not the God of the dead, so why are people even fucking around with this asshole? You know what I mean, Brandon? And when we already got into it, what the hell are people going to be doing up there in heaven for all eternity? Do you even know what the fucking eternity is, bro? What the hell are you going to be doing in this one place, singing hymns and praises to this asshole who doesn't even believe? Who, not only is he not deserving of you, but you motherfuckers literally don't realize that this so-called God is nothing more than a projection of the crackers' own fucking military psyop invasion. So this God himself ain't shit. So why the hell y'all wasting your time with this entity? You should literally be giving him singing songs and praises to yourself. You should be literally pouring libations to yourself. You should literally be elevating yourself to the next level, because you came here into this world alone. And even though it's good to help others to elevate to higher levels of consciousness and mind power and being in general. Hey, everybody has their own path to walk. Don't waste your time with people who are not going to get it. Because much like the Matrix movies, anybody can become an Agent Smith. And that's what you got to be very careful with.
Like, we like Agent Smith, like they can smile in your face, but those stones behind your back and everything like that. But we just have to be the true alchemist and transmute that energy. But like what you were saying about the all the eternity, like some people can't even handle some people can't even handle 2 hours of church every week. So how are they gonna how are they gonna do something
Oh,
like
jeez. Brandon, it is just completely absurd. It is completely asinine. It is just completely stupid. I mean, it's some childish toddler kindergarten level stuff, my brother. Imagine Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, all Oscar Robertson, Magic Johnson. Imagine all of these players who are at the peak of their powers, who are at the prime of their careers, having to face against a bunch of 5-year-olds. That's what we're literally dealing with when it comes to spirituality, bro. These motherfuckers be drinking some milk when they gotta lean off of their mama's tit, get off of that milk and literally start eating that strong meat so that they could really get what it is that's going on. And but just like what Bobby Hemmett said, get into the esoteric side of every religion. If it's Christianity, get into Gnosticism. If it's Buddhism, get into esoteric Buddhism. If it's Hinduism, get into Tantra and that kind of stuff, which goes very deep. If it's Islam, get into Sufism. If it's Judaism, get into Kabbalah. If it's ancient Egypt, there's a whole mountain of stuff that you can get into with the esoteric stuff. It goes deep. Essentially, when it comes to these mythologies and these ancient spiritual systems, it's all about controlling the mind. It's all about controlling the mind and literally transmuting energy and that kind of stuff. Can't be playing with a bunch of toddlers now. You got to be going against the pros. Then again, the pros are the ones who are supposed to literally help you to elevate to that level, much like Morpheus told Neo in the Matrix. I can show you the door, but only you can walk through it. Anything you'd like to share as we get into Enoch the Freestyle Prince, my brother?
Uh, hold on, I gotta send that video to myself.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah.
Is it both of them or just
Yeah, yeah, both of them. The writing cursive magic or something like that, and the belief and magic. The two videos that I shared.
uh,
They're both really short, so Enoch just goes through them like in simple steps, and yeah, the messages are really short and to the point. I really do appreciate that one for real though, Brandon. Yo, you'll be going even before I remember specifically. Long before my own personal spiritual awakening, I'd be going into these churches. Sometimes, yo, bro, it used to be a slog trying to stay awake, right? What the hell? Like you hit the nail on the head right there. What the hell are these motherfuckers gonna be doing with this asshole God for all eternity? Damn, even Homer Simpson got it right in this. Got it right in that one episode where he literally went against God. I think it was a Treehouse of Horror episode. He went against God because he had to fulfill Death's role because yeah, somehow Homer killed Death. Like if the esoteric messaging right there is not like apparent, even with these shows and whatnot, because the Simpsons are already good for their yeah, predicting of certain events and whatnot, which the people themselves yeah, who run the system, they already prepared this shit like way in advance. But Homer Simpson literally escaped heaven. God tried to stop him, and yeah, he managed to get away and whatnot. So that already goes to show you that this God, these Christians be giving all their energy to, he ain't shit. And yet you're telling me that's the asshole you want to. First of all, a lot of these people, as we already got into it, bro, they're narcissists, they're parasitic, they're a detriment to themselves, much more others. So why are you gonna even want to spend eternity with a bunch of the same stupid motherfuckers? Even Dr. Mumbi herself said that. Are you really gonna want to spend eternity with a bunch of motherfuckers you couldn't even stand here in this world? And they didn't even do the work in order to elevate and to rise in and become better beings? Like, it's just absolutely childish, Brandon. It's childish. I have no further words to describe it, bro.
when, when when people really think about it, like they can't even stand these people at like work and school and even in these churches. They be like, "Oh, love thy neighbor." These people really don't be loving their neighbor, so it's like this point is crazy.
I mean, it's absolutely absurd. And while these crackers are getting into the esoteric science, these motherfuckers are stuck with a fairy tale. I mean, ain't that some shit? Like what Bobby Hemmett always used to say. Ain't that some shit? Jeez.
Straight up.
You got the video from Enoch, bro?
Other video, this 777. Hope all is well. Stay out of the way, safe, focus, and balance. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate all the love support. The title of the video is going to be about writing in cursive. That is the title of the video. So this is a form of magic. I do not know if you know about this type of information. So this is tied to you spelling as well. Alright, with writing words. So basically, what is happening with us at this point is that you are a wizard, being men, and women are witches. So whenever you went to school and stuff of that nature, what took place was that's what Harry Potter was about, right? It was about going to school. So whenever you was called forth to go write on a board, right, to spell words, what was happening was you was learning how to become a wizard and a witch and how to perform spell casting, right? Because words are magic, right? So whenever you begin to take a number two pencil, right, and you look at it, examine it, what does it resemble? It resembles a magic wand. It is just a lower form of one. So it holds a charge. Whenever you begin to take it and put it on a piece of paper, right, and you start to write, this is magic, and magic is tied to creation, right? Whenever you begin to write in cursive, you have to take a closer look at the word and how it's spelled, what it's similar to, right? You have cursive, right? And then you have a curse. So it is a form of magic and spell casting whenever you begin to write in cursive. So, and whenever you graduated the fifth grade, the eighth grade, and the 12th grade, what took place was you graduated from Hogwarts, right? And you learn how to do magic and to become a wizard and a witch. So if you begin to take a cap and gown, right, what is happening is it's a tall hat, right? And it's tied to sorcery. But anyways, man, it's Enoch 777 piece.
Yeah, you could just jump straight into the next video, bro, because it all ties in perfectly anyway. So, yeah, just jump into the next video and, yeah, let the people listen to what the Freestyle Prince himself gotta share.
Back with another video. This Enoch 777. Hope all is well. Stay out of the way, safe, focus, and balance. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate all the love, support. So the word believe is tied to actual magic, right? This is why they say, do you believe in magic? So it is extremely important for you to believe in yourself if nobody does, because it's tied to actual magic. So with that being said, right, once you begin to fail no foul and you start to lose sexual energy, kundalini energy, life force energy, once it starts to leave from out of the body, right, what will happen is that you will start to lose your magic to the point to where this will literally affect the way you move around, right, the everyday life and stuff of that nature. And this will affect your actual thoughts as well, because every single thought you have, any ideas you get, it's a part of creation, right? And it is a form of magic. So whenever you begin to open your mouth and you speak, you bring stuff into creation, and this is why they call it spelling, because it's tied to magic, right? So once you begin to save up the sexual energy, right, it gets put back within the body and it builds up. You will start to tap back into those magic abilities and powers, right? To the point to where you will start to believe in yourself again. But this Enoch 777 piece I'm out.
Well, I give you the opportunity to break it down for the people, bro. I mean, Enoch, the Freestyle Prince, somebody who I would really, it would be awesome if we had a live together with him. So definitely something to look into for the near future, bro. Either way, yeah, just share with the people what it is that the Freestyle Prince himself shared in both videos, bro. Because yeah, we are much like the characters of Harry Potter. We are literally magicians, we are literally witches, we are literally wizards, which all literally just tie back to magic, which is mind power, which is literally forming and molding the clay of reality into whatever it is that you desire. And I find it to be interesting, right, Dr. Bass? Look at the character's name, Harry Potter. He is literally the potter who uses the clay, who molds the clay of the reality he's in into whatever it is he sees fit. J.K. Rowling knew what I think it was J.K. Rowling who wrote the Harry Potter books. She knew exactly why she named those characters. Why she gave them the names and the symbols and all that stuff. I'm telling you, these people, bro, they have knowledge. Especially when you're talking about Britain, like these British people and whatnot. Oh, they have knowledge over the occult and all that kind of stuff. But just let the people know what it is, bro.
Yeah, with that power thing, like you really are like the motor of your own. You are the real part of your own clay, and you co-create with the universe. So you definitely have to be like in tune with your spiritual guides and everything like that. So you can use like different like type of meditation practices just to connect with them and everything like that. So you can help co-create your own reality because like your thoughts you just have to have like that championship or like that champion mindset or like that winning mindset because like you just have to continue telling yourself that you will win at anything you like go through just you really it's just really like a mindset to be honest with your thoughts so you just have to be your own cheerleader because when you like how Enoch was saying about like sexual energy, like if you do lose your sexual energy, you have to like reprogram your mind to just to like be in that positive mindset again. So you can't like lower yourself because you will like lose some of your kundalini energy. So you just have to raise it back up to that frequency and vibration, to be honest.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Like you hit the nail right on the head, right there again, bro. And it's very important for people to know that, as Bobby Hemmett himself explained in many of his lectures, men have to tap in more into the feminine energy within them. That's not to say to become a homosexual or anything, but hey, to each their own. Okay, to each their own. But men have to tap more into their feminine energy and women have to cultivate the masculine energy within them. And I noticed something among the sisters, right? Especially with those who have to deal with absent fathers and whatnot. A lot of our women, they already know what it is to be the man and the head of the family, if you really stop and think about it. So amongst melanated women, the masculine energy is already something that she knows she has to tap into. But it's just that if the father is present, if he's there for his children, also like helping the wife and whatnot, that just makes it so much better. You know what I mean? Because you're both complementing each other. But men have to tap in more to their feminine energy. Women have to really cultivate their masculine energy. And when the two serpents come together, just like in Voodoo with Dambala and Ida Wedo, they represent that Kundalini energy mastering when they reach the top of the pole. Just like how God told Moses to lift up the serpent, to lift up and something like that. It's right there within the biblical passage of when they were so called getting out of Egypt. By the way, getting out of Egypt is literally just code for getting out of the physical, the bondage of the physical realm. That's what it means. You are a spiritual being who's looking to get out of the tomb, which is the physical body. That's the esoteric code of that whole story. The whole getting out of Egypt means like literally moving beyond the physical body, and God, who Moses was speaking to, was nothing more than his higher self that he was channeling. And the burning bush, the tree in the burning bush, is literally the Kabbalah. I mean, you don't need me to tell you all of this. Like, do the research, get into the books. You could read Gershom Scholem's books. He was a so-called Jewish rabbi. You could get into his books where he, well, like one book I recommend is Major Trends in Judaism or something like that, in Jewish Kabbalah or something like that. Like Gershom Scholem, Gershom Scholem, Gershom Scholem. Like, get his books because this guy knows what it is that he's talking about. But yeah, Brandon, as we get into the first video that I shared with Bobby Hemmett, Yeah, let the people know what it is, bro, because yeah, we are the potters, the molders, and the creators of our own reality. The universe has everything right there for us to use. We just have to be on the right vibration to attract and manifest all this stuff. Plain and simple.
That's straight facts. We just have to like attract instead of chase. You can't. If you chase after anything, then you're just telling them that it's not within yourself. So, but if you attract it, you're still on that frequency and vibration, and the universe only sees you as your heart and your pure intentions. So at this point, you just have to refocus your logical mind and then put it into your heart space. But also, you just have to have like that balance because you can't be too much in your heart space, but you can't be too much in your logical space as well. So it's a balance to everything, to be honest.
Hmm. Yeah, you hit the nail right there on the head, Dr. Bass. I mean, there's literally no better way to put it. There's no better way to say it. So, yeah, let's just get into what Bobby has to say right here over a topic that many people don't like to get into, but it's the one thing that people will never, no living being, whether it be mineral, whether it be plant, whether it be animal, whether it be human, every individual is going to have that meeting with death. And honestly, if it were to be the case with me right now, I wouldn't give a damn. I already put in the work. I already put in the work. I already did what I had to do, all thanks to you being a major component in it, Dr. Bass. Big fucking deal if we don't live another day or another second or another minute in this world. I mean, this is not our world, right?
Straight facts, bro. Let me wait.
Mm.
Unknown, Ashe. To all ancestors known and unknown, Ashe. Like I said the last time, this in actuality is empowering you. The only difference between you and your people is past known is they have shedded the physical body and gotten out of prison, and you are still in prison with the physical body, so that means you're still in death. What you call life is actually death, and what you call death is actually life. It's temporary life for some of those. They live again once they die. You are dead. This is the dead zone. This is hell. The physical realm is called Hayo, Hayo, Hu, Hell. That's the original word for the hell, is the physical body and the physical earth. So energy can never be created or destroyed, just transferred. Where does that energy go? Once it leaves that physical body, it goes into you. So your ancestors actually live inside of you. If we're talking about the same energy field and frequencies, you are nothing but energy. Aspects of a little spark, a sun. You are nothing but this big. You just been fooled into thinking that your physical body is your real body. But in actuality, you are inside of you is a cosmic seed of light. That's all you are, all your thoughts and everything. But there's a veil that you think in actuality that this particular world is reality and this is only the illusionary world. Now, dealing with this particular information, understanding when you pour the libation, if we're talking about nothing but energy, when you call on them, you're actually enhancing the energy within you because they now live inside of you. It's when you die, you go to a certain state. That certain state is inside of your cosmos. The cosmos inside of your mind, inside of your brain, that lives inside of you. We'll go deeper into this for the people that don't understand this concept. So when you pour the libations, you're not only enhancing, you're calling. In ancient Kemet, they say to say a dead person's name in actuality is to make them live again. So you in actuality are not only invoking the entities that you think is outside of you, you're actually enhancing the energy that's inside of you, because the only thing it is one energy. And you are part of that same energy. You're just thinking you're different because you're separated by a physical body. That's why they teach everybody in America to be individuals. That already fuck you up. That's how you get fucked up with the individual shit. I'm an individual. My individual freedom. That's selfish. You see what I'm saying? That's selfish. That's why you don't do the people's thing and always doing your thing. And if the people thing is not your thing, you don't want nothing to do with it. You see what I'm saying? But your thing is the people's thing. You see what I'm saying? So it's also to say, well, if your mama, if the white man came to your mama head and say, I'm going to shoot your mama in the head if you don't stop the black talk, you're dead, motherfucker. Because if it's left up to the people, compared to your mama's dead. If they come to your daughter, if it's left up to the people compared to your daughter, kill her. Ain't nothing. She just living. So in actuality, you're making her live again, because in actuality, you're putting out of her misery. She don't have to sleep. She don't have to eat. She don't have to have a constant search for food anymore. She don't have to have aches and pains and all other kind of crazy, messed up, psychological, pathological things that accompanies the body. So in actuality, we're talking about total liberation when we deal with this particular type of information. Also, like I said here, you never should open up any kind of meat without libation. That is your protection. This is better than M16s and stuff like that, because up against the white boy with guns, you damn sure lose, because that's his thing. Don't let nobody fool you. You ain't never been in a fight till you get in a fight with the cracker with that, but that's not our energy. See, there's different energy grids. His energy is to be the devil. So you can't become the devil and fight him as the devil, because that's his nature, that's his energy. So you got to become God. You have magic too. You have energy too, but it's on another level, it's on the spiritual plane. You see what I'm saying? So if you deal with the spiritual realm, you understand, you can't lose. He wants you to deal with him on the other realm, because you lost that fight. That's a low energy anyway, and your energy cannot put out. That's why you've never been successful in business or any other thing. You wasn't supposed to. I'm sorry to say, but you wasn't supposed to. Business, success, and all the things that you think of this society, you wasn't supposed to be. Nobody's never told you that before. You're not supposed to be rich. Although we have a few people fall from the grapevine, that's different. So I'm saying the things that you worry about each day that you're supposed to deal with, you don't supposed to be doing those damn things. So once you clear your mind of that, then you can go to another level. You see what I'm saying? Like I said the last time, I'm the only brother that started out middle class on a quest for poverty. So I don't have to worry about that no more. Money ain't my shit. So I don't have to worry about that. So you don't ever have to worry about me getting over. You understand what I'm saying? Because I have a detestation for finance. So if a nigga got a detestation for finance and he don't like it, you don't have to worry about that no more. Then you say, well, is this mug real? Is he real? Or has he got a game like everybody else? If I teach you against finances, if we can start on another playing field. That's metaphysics. That's spirit. Oh, don't God say we're supposed to be blessed? Tell them what you call being blessed. You see what I'm saying? What you call being blessed is something totally different than what your ancestors thought was being blessed. You see what I'm saying? So don't worry about it, you know? That's our problem. Our manhood and womanhood is measured on how much money we got. Therefore, and you gotta always keep the money going. Now, I'm not saying to go out here and get no, put on some sandals and a cane and walk out here and with your ass all out and funky and stuff because you don't have no finances. I'm just saying the finances are only supposed to be a utility. That's just to get you from A to Z. You understand where I'm coming from? That means if the cracker give me $1 million, I'm not going to be stupid enough to say I'm not going to take it. But my point is that's not my measurehood of life. That's not my measurement of life. You understand what I'm saying? That's not my manhood. And because I don't actually put my energy in that, I don't have to worry about that shit no more. What you spend 98% of the time thinking about is your God. See what I'm saying? Is your God. So we got some other things to free you up. Sisters, you got to rebel against what you call love and romance. That's your vice. That's the cult that you in, and that's why you fail with it. Love and romance is some shit that was invented for the white man because he doesn't have a spirit to feel, so he has to show that he feels by telling. To really love a person is to never tell a person you love them. Try it. Now, my mate, I never tell my mate I love her. You see what I'm saying? A dog don't have to validate being a dog. You don't have to tell your goddamn mama you love her. Or your sister you love her. That's why this shit come out corny. It don't sound right. You understand what I'm saying? But see, people ain't never told you this before. So to tell your woman you love her, that's why a nigga can say, well, all a nigga got to do, a hard head, I'm saying. All he got to do to get over on a woman is master the love thing. I love you. See what I'm saying? It's fake. It's phony. It never existed. So you're looking for love in the wrong damn places, and it has nothing to do with romance. I never tell my mate I love her. And we the best friends at all. We never argue. We haven't argued in over a damn year. Never hardly argue. But I don't tell her I love her. It's a difference. You see what I'm saying? Some things are given. Certain things. So when you cut down on the fake, then the energy, your energy automatically knows. You understand what I'm saying? She automatically knows. So if I see her walking down the street with a nigga, a hardhead, I don't get jealous and all because I already know the energy. I know that she's just talking to that particular person as another human being. You understand what I'm saying? So this is some things we're going to get into, to dismantle this mythology of love. It's all fake. It's all bullshit. It's all European shit. They had to teach this devil how to express his feelings. It was a therapeutic thing for him because he's a psychopath. Now you stuck into this shit with Harlequin romance and all, and that's why the sisters is all fucked up in the head. Because the simple fact they can't figure them out. You don't, no nigga don't fuck tell you he love you. You see what I'm saying? And once you become, once you understand what true love is, you won't have this problem anymore. That's what's going on. You see, it's all fake.
Be ourselves, right?
Yeah. Just be yourself. Romance. What's the first word romance come from? Rome. Look like Rome. Now what is the Romans? The Romans are responsible for one thing in history: killing people. That's the only thing they ever did in history is kill mugs. Well, so how can a person that is the mass murderers of world history have the key to your happiness when it comes to your fucking mate? Think about it. How idiotic is flowers? Think about it. You should never doggone feel fine about somebody giving you flowers. That's because you've been programmed. See, they start from a little child, and they program you to accept things. If I program you to like shit, a hunk of shit, by the time you get damn 19, if I gave you a Hershey's bar, I gave you a hunk of shit, you'd grab the shit. You go all teary-eyed because I gave you a hunk of shit. See where I'm coming from here? It's just a matter of programming. So what they have done is they have domesticated our women, giving you the easy bake oven and all that old bullshit. And they have domesticated us with the doll babies and all that stuff, so you can't break out of that cycle. You're much more advanced than that. You goddess of the universe. But if you understand the triple goddess, you will see the mother, you will see a celestial god, then you'll see one that just kills. Just straight up kills. And you got to understand what cycle you're in. The cycle that you're in right now is
Well, Brandon, honestly, there's really not much I could say there because Bobby literally just hit the nail on all aspects of the head right there. In every area, in the middle, in the freaking northwest, in the northeast, in the southwest, southeast. Like, he really hit the nail on the head right there. Because I was reading an article on Facebook from one of my old teachers, I realized that she herself is really deep into this whole spirituality thing as well. Although sometimes I guess she uses Jesus and Christianity as an easy means for people to get what it is, because you gotta use, if you're a high level spiritual being at this point, you're really only using Christianity as a simple means to get those who are still stuck in the religion to really get what it is that you're trying to decode for them, but yeah, she literally shared something based off of someone's own experience, off of an article that they wrote. If you notice people in the East, right, why they seem to have a better, and I'm talking about like our own melanated people over in Africa, or whether you're talking about in China, in Japan, in India, heck, yeah, these countries in particular. If you notice in these eastern places, or even like Indonesia, Thailand, and these places, yeah, if you really look good, these people, they don't really focus much on romance or anything. They mostly go by compatibility and that kind of stuff. And yet, you don't really see a high divorce rate among these people like here in the West, which is supposed to be a so-called free nation and all that kind of stuff. Why is that? Because these people comprehend that relationships should be a partnership. Like what Phil Valentine said, fuck a relationship. It's all about a partnership. It doesn't matter whether if it's a lover, it doesn't matter whether if it's a colleague, it doesn't matter whether if it's a business partner. And Bobby already hit the nail on the head right there when he said, yeah, these people be focusing on finance and all this kind of shit. What you spend most of your energy focusing on, that literally becomes your God. So you be focusing on this Christianity bullshit. Hey, that's your God. You be focusing on finances. That's your God. You be focusing on relationships and whatnot. The so-called romantic aspect. That's your God. Because you got to remember the Romans, like he said, were massive fucking murderers. All these motherfuckers really did on a high level was kill people and steal their information, based off of their spiritual teachings and whatnot. But I've already rambled for too damn long now. Essentially, relationships tend to be far more successful in the East because these people comprehend what compatibility and responsibility toward oneself and each other is all about, which is why you don't even see a high divorce rate over there as you do here in the West, where people got it all twisted and think that, yeah, romance and fuck the Romans. Their system is collapsing. Their system is literally falling right before our very eyes. People need to get out of this shit because it ain't worth a damn. But Brandon, I literally let you take it away, bro, because yeah, of course the host himself has to give his take on it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like whenever you go into like relationships, you definitely have to see like if you're really compatible and really go into it with a partnership mindset because at this point, like you get what I'm saying, like because women they want like a high value man, right? But for men, like they don't really say what they want except for like, oh yeah, she gotta look beautiful and BBL and all that other physical stuff. It's like really you just have to go into it with like the mindset of like, okay, what can they bring to the table and what can I bring to the table so we can build that empire and build that destiny. But really it's all depending on that, really, because most of these relationships are just people just go into relationships just to have someone physically there, but it's really not like they're not compatible. They don't gain anything except for like physical means and whatnot. But that's yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for real, Dr. Bass. Man, these cats moving on stupid over here on my end. Man, just don't mind the cats in the background, bro. There's a lot of these assholes living all over the place where I'm at right now. But yeah, you see the thing about it too is, Brandon, when you get into Layla Africa's book, African Holistic Health, he doesn't only get into food and whatnot. He also gets into stuff like sex, exercise, the whole 9 yards, basically every aspect of the individual melanated person's way of living. You need to deprogram yourself from the cracker's own system because it is his own system. He is a human animal. You are a god living a temporary human experience. But it was what you call him, C.W. Leadbeater literally wrote in his book, The Astral Realm, the Astral Plane, I think the name of the book is, where essentially when you get to the different spiritual levels, especially when talking about traveling through the astral plane, these humanoids they fall under the category of a being that is just above the animal level but still below the human level. They're not even quite on the human level because guess what, the original humans, Nuben Menkari, the brother, he already got into explaining how the word hu originally came from an ancient Egyptian word which means created. But guess what, that could still apply to us multidimensional god beings having this temporary human experience because these physical bodies were created to accommodate our being in this physical realm. But these other fur-headed humans, and I don't got nothing against the ones who are doing what it is that they gotta do to help raise their own people, as well as let people know what's going on pertaining to the system and exposing the system for what it is, because remember, the people who run this system, they don't mind killing motherfuckers who look like them if it means they have to get it done in order to achieve their own goals. But I mean to say is, we are not the same like these other humans, and plus we're the majority on this fucking world anyway. So as we already explained, bro, niggas have a unity problem. Like what Bobby Hemmett said, it's an individual problem. You always want to say, oh, it's all about you, it's all about you. It starts with you, but it shouldn't necessarily end with you, because like with you and I right now, Dr. Bass, we don't have to be wasting our time doing this live and whatnot, but we're doing it because we care about others' well being. We want them to elevate themselves. We want them to rise beyond the physical body. We want them to ascend beyond this realm. We want them to not be afraid of death. So when that moment comes, they could literally embrace it and move on to higher realms. You know what I mean? We don't have to be doing this, Dr. Bass, but we're doing it for the love. We're doing it because we care for other people's well-being and that they could literally get that wake-up call so that they could literally be get take their responsibility to do the work and move along their own path of spiritual elevation, you know? So either way, Dr. Bass, just break it down to the people based off of what Bobby just explained in the video as we move on to the next video in that order.
Yeah, with that being said, it's like at this point we just do things for like the betterment of the community, because at the end of the day, if the collective wakes up, then the new wolf will come even faster. So at this point, as more people wake up, the more faster we all get. So that's really like the mindset I see.
Definitely. It's all about the collective waking up because so called white supremacy, we already start to see it for the lie, the scam, and the fraud that it is. These motherfuckers, I mean, think about it. The minority make themselves appear like the majority. And then you got Stephen A. Smith's monkey ass up here saying, oh, white people are the majority. They never were and they never will be because so called white skin, which is actually pink skin, because really, look at these people for what they are. There isn't a single black person on this world, and there isn't a single white person on this world. You've got dark chocolate colored people, because so called black, when it comes to us melanated people, comes in different shades, in different colors. And so called white people, they have pink skin, because even the Romans themselves used to be dissing other white people, calling them pink skin pigs and that kind of shit. You could go on Home Team History's channel and watch his older videos to to see for yourself. Even the Romans themselves had no fucking problem killing many people who look like them if it meant they absolutely had to fucking achieve whatever sick twisted goals. I mean, it was the Romans. And this is who the system is literally based upon. Roman law. This is the collapsing system that we're witnessing right before our very eyes. So how the hell could you possibly learn a higher level of love from a bunch of psychopaths? Shit, teach Chucky how to fucking love you. No, let Chucky teach you how to fucking love a motherfucker. Let Freddy Krueger teach you how to love a motherfucker. Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, the lead Cenobite, the so-called Pinhead from the Hellraiser series. Let these motherfuckers, let them teach you how to love motherfuckers. You know what I mean, Brandon? You know what I mean, bro?
Yeah, straight up. It's like these different characters would be teaching. Like I be looking at these cartoons. I'd be learning more in cartoons than in real person like shows and whatnot.
I mean, like, seriously, they make better teachers than a lot of these people out here who claim to be teachers. And a lot of these parents, like what Bobby himself said, we should be in the age of the warrior mindset. We should be ready to fight. We should be able to chop a motherfucker's head off when the situation calls for it. Because the spiritual realm is clearly manifesting everything at a rapid rate, and there will come a time where you're going to have to get into it physically as well. So just be ready for whenever that's gonna happen. Because especially with all the nonsense I see with the distractions with Biden and Trump and all that nonsense, their system is collapsing and they are trying every possible maneuver to try to keep people distracted. But we already see through all their BS, Brandon. They can say whatever they want. Their system is collapsing, and too bad for them. May that bitch collapse and yeah, bring on the new earth because I am seriously tired of the old world and I'm tired of every fucking body who loves this world as well. Like, if millions of people who aren't contributing anything to this world have to get wiped out, so be it. So be it. Because guess what? It's millions of people who weren't contributing anything. So we gotta look at so called mass killing and genocide for what it really is, a purge, just like the fucking Purge movies. You see how they hide the truth in plain sight, Brandon? You see that, bro?
Yeah, that's
I'm
straight
telling you.
up.
Yeah, let's get to the next video, bro. The one, the second one that I posted.
Based on the channel that came, I think think, and we didn't date this. This came about 2 weeks ago. Let's see. It came like the first week we moved into the house, which would be, the second week in July. This came right before the summer solstice. And it says, watch for the silver star. The silver star is Sirius. And it says the silver star is leaving our orbit into yours. So that's Sirius getting closer, but this is different than the heroic horizon of the Nile each year. You have the Sirius rises each year, July 23rd each year. This one is a little bit different. This is the one that comes every 26,000 years, this great year sun. So based on that particular sun, it hadn't been this close to the earth in 26,000 years. So this is the one that happened, and they told us this one day, and 2 days later, this heat wave broke out. You see. Now, I heard that somebody that said that even though it cooled down here a little, they said that the Midwest is kicking behind right now. They're saying people, they saying it's breaking all kind of records and it's gotten out of control. And they told us, they said, well, when they came that week, they told us, they said that this thing is going to last the entire summer. So it might get cool or whatever, but basically it's hot like this the entire summer. So I welcome it, you know what I'm saying? Because not so much it just killing people, but I welcome it just to know that, God dog, if there's some signs, then what bigger sign than this doggone heat wave? Last year, what was it? It was rain, big dark cloud. You know what I'm saying? So this heat wave is very spiritual because we are living in the time where we're literally seeing those particular things. Now, what we want to do is write these down, the biblical verses. Like I said, I'm going to recap some things I said on the radio. So, this is for, first of all, this is for brothers and sisters that's in prison, but it's not necessarily brothers and sisters in prison. This particular Bible verse, this isn't going to be in Revelations. This is just a regular old preacher book, some cracker from out here, but he put all the stuff of Revelation in his book, and he's thinking when they say the church is in the Revelation, he thinks it's talking about the literal church. You know what I'm saying? It's not talking about that church. We're going to decode this thing today, metaphysically. But it's going to be Revelations 2:10. Now, this is very key that you get this. Revelations 2:10. Indeed, the devil is about to throw you into prison, that you may be tested, and you will have tribulations for 10 days. Be faithful unto death, and I will give you the crown of life. Now, that's not talking about for you to get up here and say, I forgive you, white man, and when I die, I'm going to go to heaven. Death is a spiritual manifestation of you going to another spiritual level in the entity coming into you, and you go into your holy guardian angel. And I'll give a special shout out to her as she joined the celestial realm of the great hierarchy. She is not dead. She's just only begun to live. This is death. The other part that you think of as death is actually life. You see what I'm saying? This is the death realm. This is the realm of the dead, which we'll try to explain to you. Whenever you hear the book of the dead and you talk about the dead, it's not necessarily talking about the dead that is passed on, because those are the glorified spirits that actually live. The dead that they're talking about is down here on earth, the people that fell into a dead state and lost all senses of the Godhead. That's the real death. You got it wrong. You see what I'm saying? So to wake up every morning is not, and I repeat, and we can debate on this, to wake up every morning is not necessarily a blessing. That's right. To wake up every morning is not necessarily a blessing. You see, somewhere around 2,000 years ago, this thing got changed around. The whole key to our mysticism and our mystery was to get back to the higher realms. Remember, they talk about a man that fell to the fallen realms. So to wake up when you have fallen from grace and glory is not necessarily so positive. That's called fundamentalism and moralism that have nothing necessarily to do with spirituality. The last 2,000 years we have been dealing with fundamentalism and moralism that has something to do with the social A social religion is based on economic, political, mundane, and social reason, but not necessarily real spirituality. We want to address these problems because I think this is a critical point that we turn everything around. Now, I first started out, and I gave some of you this Christ ritual. Now, let me explain this to you. First of all, the Christ ritual, I explained that my brother had to go to court, and he couldn't find out what to do. But he remembered getting this ritual from me a couple of months ago. And he ended up doing this when he went to court. They ended up being in favor of him, and the white woman that was battling against him, they almost locked her behind him. Now, what is actually happening here? It means, is it not written in your law to yield gods, which means that you are the microcosm of the macrocosm. Whenever you do these particular things, you're only empowering the energy within yourself, the God force which is in yourself. Now, even when you pour libations, you are only empowering the God force that's in yourself. Because the ancestors, not only when they go to the celestial realm, they live inside of you. That's why sometimes when you are going through some things, sometimes you might hear a person might tell you, don't do this. And you say, well, Daddy, and it might not necessarily be your higher self, the God of nature, it could be your mother telling you. You say, well, one of my ancestors came to me and told me not to do that. That means inside of you is a whole universe that exists, all of us. So when you pour the libations, you're not only giving blessings to the ancestors, you are also empowering yourself. That's the key. That's the real key, because they exist inside of you. You live in a multi-dimensional universe, and you got to understand the concept of how the universe works, other than what is the basic conventional way it has been taught. You understand what I'm saying? And so one of the key things, well, right here, okay. One of the key things is to get out of these fears. You are now in God's. The other people, that's the masses of people, are depending on you. You are the Godhead, and you are going to be the ones that's going to get our people out of this mess. Not nobody from the skies, because the ones coming from the skies are coming in you and through you, and you will be a part of that particular Godhead. The ones that get your people out of this mess. So you got to start thinking of yourself as more advanced beings than just waiting on something good to happen to you, because you are the ones that make that happen. So make that happen. So that's why the Christ ritual was to actually enhance the Godhead inside of you. Now, this Christ ritual.
Man, what can I say, Brandon? What can I say, bro? Yeah, Bobby Hemmett was definitely a teacher of this generation. Him, Brother Panic, Dr. Phil Valentine, Sister Yafa Bay, Sister Myra Ross, and the list goes on and on and on. But man, I'm telling you, Bobby, he's truly that spiritual assassin right there. He be coming with that information and knowledge that people need to hear. He be coming with that hard-hitting stuff that people, that new kind of stuff that people need to be aware of. It isn't about it's not about the shit that you heard many times over. Nah, that's just regurgitation. That's just masturbation. We ain't talking about that. We talking about new information that literally got you like, wow, I literally did not know about this stuff before. But based off of 2 videos, as we go into the next video, bro, yeah, just let the people know what's what.
Oh yeah, with like the death at this point, like we're just really talking about like not being scared of death, and just like really just awakening yourself to like the truth and everything.
I mean, seriously, Brandon, I don't even know. I mean, they put it right there in a well-received, well-loved cartoon that still holds relevant to this day. The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Billy and Mandy, you saw all the kind of adventures they went through when the Grim Reaper became their friend, bro. Heck, to show you, even Marvel Comics literally went a step further. Death is literally represented as a female abstract entity. And really stop and think about it. That's literally nothing more than, actually, when you go into the Spawn comics, because once again, comic books also be spitting the facts right there. When you get into the Spawn comics, the great mother, who is also the mother of God and Satan within the Spawn universe, she also takes the role of Kali, who is the great black goddess, who we know in Hindu mythology as well. She literally, because remember, it's three aspects to the goddess: the maiden, the mother, and the destroyer. The destroyer literally comes to end, just like the Hindu trinity of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, the creator, the preserver, and the destroyer. The creation starts at the beginning of the cycle. The cycle reaches the middle point where it's preserved, and at the end of the cycle, the creation starts to decay. So in comes the destroyer to make way for a new cycle. The cracker uses time based off of linear measurement because he knows that his time is short. He is not an eternal being, but we always went through events and situations and experiences based off of cycles. If you didn't know that before, you sure as fuck know it now. And don't take my word for it. Do the research yourselves. Any words before we get into the video, brother?
Nah, y'all be killing it. This one, you know what I'm saying? We killing it.
Much appreciation for the opportunity as well, my brother. Let's get into it.
No apple white where you go kill yourself. Either way we talk about a day with death. That's the key here. We'll get into that science in a few minutes. And I'll explain why this is so important. The book of the law tells you must love death and you must long for death. Yes. Tells you in the book of the law. You see what I'm saying? Also had it, which is your particular black seed or the black dot on the third eye. It's called the Hadit principle. It's also called the Ka'abit or the shadow. All of that stuff is the same, and it's talk about your inner soul. It says in the third book, in the second book of the law, to know me is to know death. The knowledge of me is the knowledge of death. The knowledge of me is the knowledge of death. That's what it says. You're right. Knowledge of me is the knowledge of death. The Berlin Papyrus. And the Berlin Papyrus was put out in a small format, but it's a bigger format now called Revel in the Soul by Beaker Reed. An ancient Egyptian dialogue between a man and his destiny. And he's talking to his soul, Beaker Reed. And in here the goddamn man saying, fuck the dumb shit, I'm trying to kill my damn self. This is 4,000 years ago. And the soul was trying to tell him why it's not feasible. You see what I'm saying? But still, yet, nevertheless, he said, either I'm going to sacrifice in physical sacrifice, or it's going to be some sacrificing because I don't want to stay. And I'm trying to get the folks off the planet. I don't want to stay on the damn planet. And one brother that's a dietitian said, I want to live till I'm 140 years. So I said, why would I want to live till I'm 140 years? I don't even want to live till next goddamn year. I show the fact of being down in this bitch, you're paying rent. Shit that's expensive a year from now. That's right. You know, just to think of all this is just utter despair. Oh, yeah. If you own the damn frequency. You see what I'm saying? And that's what you must ask yourself. Why the fuck am I here? Why? Tell me why. You see what I'm saying? He said, Neil, you must understand there is a mystery. He said, well, you are a slave. You see, it doesn't have any damn thing to do with whether you are in shackles or not. The whole science. So one of the keys here is, and this, we must be clear on this. Because we must be clear on this and all. I mean, live to 140 for what? I mean, the only reason why we even lived that long in the first place is because we wanted knowledge. And we had a certain amount of knowledge. Even the guy in India that was 300 years old, he was only 300 years old because he couldn't find a teacher to teach the students. So he had to stay around till they got somebody adequate enough. You understand what I'm saying? Adequate enough. Now, so my point is, if you want to deal with what the ancient Camites and the ancient Africans were dealing with, they was preoccupied with death. Why? Because death is the other realm. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Death is the other realm. We're going to get into this and all this. That's right. You see what I'm saying and all. And so this is what we're going to have to deal with also. We're going to get into that in a few minutes. We're going to get into that in a few minutes. Because if the God that's over us is the God of the living, then who is the God of the dead? You see, who is the God of the dead? And in actuality, when you do the mythology on melanin, melanin itself is nothing but death. That's what it is. It's death. Now, what do I mean? He said, what does that mean? First, what does that mean? Number one, if you deal with the ancient mythology, if we were a prior people before the physical realm and a pre-universal people or pre-creation people, that means that creation had to come on the heels of somebody else dying. And those particular people that died became humans. The substance that was burned up and the substance that was killed, Tiamat was killed, the great dragon, and her blood was used to turn into humans. The Titans was killed and their ashes was used to turn into humans. So that ashes of those bloods is what is the death substance. That's what melanin is. A pre-universal substance. So when they say I am the God of the living and not the dead, that means then what is the God of the dead? Osiris is the God of the dead and the God of the perfect black. You see what I'm saying? So in actuality, our next plateau is in that realm of the so-called undead. You see, of the so-called undead. And when we bring light to this, it brings the fear. It stops the fear of trying to understand this particular science. But even when we let's deal with some other things right now. So the brothers were saying, you know, we're trying to deal with the whole diet thing, and I'm saying, this is the problem why we're stuck. The unwillingness of the African or the African and American or whatever black people to get off of the fucking, not to look beyond the surface. We're still on the damn surface. And so we must challenge everything that feels good, sounds good, looks good, rational, logical, to permeate to the other side. So it's feasible that we got 6 or 7 other damn scholars out here talking about diet and nutrition. You see, now one thing about the diet thing, it's a new religion. Once you get into it, there's no turning back. Now I know, I've lost several family members to this shit. When you start focusing in on the diet and everything you start eating, then the first thing you start doing is you start reading the side of box. And there's enough stuff in the diet realm to contain you and to occupy you forever. Until before you know it, you'll be stuck in a new religion, whereas the enemy becomes a person who is not on the same diet. And we got scores of people, I see people that even get new people, their social circle, and they get together and talk about what other people are not eating and what people are eating is bad for them. And it becomes a new religion, looking down on people. All because, see, this is very key in this particular society, because everything is a compulsive society. Whatever we master, we tend to want to look down on other people who have mastered that. And as a result, that's another series of ego. So now we got people that's mastering the diet, and it's becoming a religion. You see what I'm saying? It's becoming a religion. It was only supposed to be something that you are aware of, that certain things you don't have to eat, and certain things that's going to make you sick. But outside of that kind of damn shit, it's not a religion. So to come up, you know what I'm saying, and you got people, their mind will go to that, and it becomes a form of extremism. And then it becomes a form of elitism. So they want me to get together to talk about goddamn diet, and I'm talking about that's ridiculous. I'm talking about ending the fucking world, not sustaining myself on the fucking planet.
That's right.
It's over with. Everybody knows it's over with. The government is doing shit every day because they know the shit is over. And their asses has got to leave. But yet, when I want to get up here and talk about some damn diet, I couldn't give a shit. You see what I'm saying? And the point I'm trying to make here is we got to deal with this. Some people say, well, the world ain't ended yet. The world hasn't ended yet because you have to work at it.
Yes.
It's like anything else. It's only in your mind. If this is a matrix, then the only thing that breaks off the matrix is your knowledge that this is a matrix. And the knowledge of ending the world is you got to gain the knowledge of ending the world. That's what the eschatology is, end time study. You see what I'm saying? So therefore, the reason why the world hasn't ended, and I've been teaching on it for the last 7 years, is because it's a series. It's called apocalypse. Just means of revealing. You reveal certain
Man, Brandon, I'm telling you, this really puts a whole new perspective on spiritual revelation, how the ego is ever a conniving, deceptive son of a bitch, and just how uh getting into a new spiritual practice or religion for those people who are into that kind of stuff, it really goes to show how spiritual revelation can easily lead to the ego creating something that is supposed to help you. No, the thing that was supposed to help you, the ego turns it against you. And remember the movie Revolver from 2005. Who is your own worst enemy? Your own damn self. More specifically, the false self, the ego. That's the enemy that that movie itself was talking about, and that's the enemy that even the spiritual masters of ancient times have been teaching us. Heck, you could just read Eckhart Tolle's book, Practicing the Power of Now. You are your own worst enemy. Everybody else who you attract that seem to be your enemy are nothing more than a reflection of that. The only reason why this physical realm is even still around is because the true creators are still stuck in the illusion of the physical realm. But just imagine if everybody all over, if every melanated person all over literally started preaching death, brother. Imagine that, right, Brandon? Can you imagine just how fucking quickly this goddamn system would have ended already? Yo, Brandon, I don't know about others. I don't know about you personally, bro. But me, yo, every day I wake up, I come back to this bitch. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here? Seriously. And the more I stop and think about it, all these people who be living for such a long goddamn time. Motherfucker, did you really elevate yourself consciously, mentally, spiritually, in order for you to, I don't know, like, have you elevated yourself in any way, shape, form, or fashion? Because really, the more I stop and think about it, these motherfuckers will be living for such a long time. Man, Kobe Bryant got the easy way out. I don't give a fuck what nobody says, whether you think his death was a sacrifice or not. I mean, it probably was. Suffice it to say, suffice it to say, yo, bro, um, yo, people really got to start looking at death as something that should be embraced. People really should start looking at it in such a way that, yo, you got to embrace this thing. I really wish people all over would start to and we're gonna get into the last video, bro. I think it's the last video, but people really should start looking at death as the number one thing that they should long for, especially when spiritually elevating, because how much more can you experience in this fucking world, my brother? Bro, the way I see it, accumulate as much knowledge, wisdom, and experience within a very short time, and then get the fuck up out of here. I mean, if that's not what it, you can disagree with me as you will. You don't have to agree with me on anything. But, bro, as scholars, it is our absolute duty to literally come to some kind of an agreement, even if we have disagreements. Because the whole point of it all is, like what Dr. Phil Valentine said, whatever disagreements we may have had in the beginning, we're supposed to see and comprehend the other side's uh, viewpoint, their standpoint, so that we could literally come together and see how both sides make one perfect picture, if you will.
Yeah, that's straight facts because like we just gotta like really come to a realization that death is something we should embrace and should empower instead of like keep. No one wants to talk about death, and then once people want to talk about death, it's already too late. You get what I'm saying? So at this point, we just have to. That's why they say it's, you know, the good die young. So at this point, you have to try to fulfill everything that you need to do at a young age, so you won't have to stay in this realm too long.
Dr. Bass, you really stop and think about it. Like what Bobby said in the video. Why the fuck are you gonna even want to try to live for 100 years, let alone 140? Motherfucker, why do you even want to stay here in this fucking world for so long? It's an illusion, right? It's nothing more than a video game experience, right? What the hell is so special about this fucking world? I'm only 32, making 33 in this fucking cycle, so called. And I already could tell y'all straight up this world ain't shit, Dr. Bass. And people who are twice my age still can't fucking see that. Dr. Bass, I'm telling you, if I could leave this world within this fucking decade, at least I did what had to be done in order for y'all to receive what was necessary to receive in order to make that transition to bring on the new world and the new paradigm. But this world, Dr. Bass, it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. So, any last words as we get into the last video, bro?
Nah, you nailed that joint in the dot right there. Okay.
Brandon, the people have to know. They just have to know, bro. They just have to know, straight up. Anyway, let's get into it, bro.
Watch movie What Dreams May Come, what they talk about, Cuba Gooding Jr., he says, well, you're making this world down here. This is your world. He said, this world I'm in after he died is like a picture me and my wife bought at a flea market. We looked at this picture. We said we must have it. This is our idea of heaven. So we hung it on our wall. So now when he died, he was in his idea of heaven on that wall. So he was Cuba Gooding Jr. was telling him, no, this is your world. I'm in your world. He said, when I'm here in your world, we're co-creators. But I'm creating in your world. But all of this is from you and your mind. He said, ironically, down here, the way we get things or make things happen is thinking of them. Now, this is one of the most profound movies about what happens when you die in the astral world, because all the shit they were saying was absolutely true. His wife, who killed herself because she couldn't take the death of her kids, and her husband went to what they call hell, and they had the true definition. It was still the astral world. It was no place below the fucking earth where it was hot, but it was her definition. What became hell for her was living in that house alone, and she was destined to live in that house alone, based upon, they said suicide, but that's not the case. If you kill yourself, you're not going to your hell. Where they get that from is most people who do kill themselves have built a hell already in their mind based upon their life. So if you kill yourself going, fuck it, I'm God, I'm going back to heaven, that's where you go. But most people are under stress, under duress, under some sort of strain who kill themselves. So that strain in their mind, or where the state of their mind becomes the heaven, or what we call hell. That's the closest you're going to get to hell, your own mind. Because your own mind is in control and creating everything. So all of those who are conscious, y'all have nothing to worry about, because y'all at least just know you exist after the body hits the ground. Most people don't know that. So since you know that, you're already in a place of saving yourself, of controlling your next existence, whether that's coming back here or moving on, based upon your consciousness of death. So, and not even, I know this and I know that, just the fact that you know there's something beyond just laying in the ground and Jesus coming to rescue your ass. That's enough. Just knowing beyond that is enough to save your ass. So that's a movie I recommend. It's called What Dreams May Come, Robin Williams, Cuba Gooding Jr., because they explain the entire situation about the afterlife, even the cosmic boat. Because the cosmic boat concept in the astral world is what's actually going to take your soul. Your soul is actually called the cosmic boat. It was called the solstice boat or some shit like that, or but Isis's boat at first, then it became the sun boat of Ra. But it was all this boat, or you see these Egyptians on the boat, is a representation of your soul. And when you meet Ra in the sun boat, that means you're actually also leaving the astral world, which is a part of this illusionary world. So that soul boat is also what you see in Peter Pan. Captain Hook represents Saturn, Death, or Kronos. And Captain Hook, with that hook, is Kronos. And he's on his boat trying to get Peter Pan to die or get him out of the astral world where his spirit is there forever. He's trying to get his soul to move to the great beyond. When you watch the movie What Dreams May Come, there's a scene where they was going to walk on this dark boat. And you see nothing but chaos niggas there. That was most interesting of all, because it's actually nothing but black people on this wild-ass boat. And they show that. And they're showing, no, this is the realm of the nigga, the chaos realm. Very profound movie. But so what I'm trying to get you to understand through that is your mind is all. What you believe, that's why I started with fake it till you make it and all the rest of that, because what you believe will become your afterlife. So if you were believed that you were pursued by the Illuminati, if you believe that chemtrails have fucked you up, and GMO food and all the rest of that shit that you complain about as niggers endlessly, you take this thought process with you into the afterlife.
Man, Brandon, what can I say, bro? Much appreciated for another great opportunity. And man, what an app. I think that's all the videos, right?
Yeah, that was the last one.
Yeah, that's all the videos. And what a really, really good one. Like, the amount of information I took off of that one, you know what that video right there literally reminded me of? The very book that I keep sharing with y'all. Reginald Crossley's book from 2000, The Haitian Voodoo Quantum Leap. Yo, bro, I'm telling you. No, the Voodoo Quantum Leap. The Voodoo Quantum Leap. Because remember, going into these deep spiritual practices is literally nothing more than going into melanin, chaos, magic. That's who we are. And I never knew that part about Peter Pan, even though I was never really into these fairy tales and whatnot. But these fairy tales are a form of mythology. And even fairies themselves always used to be a form of the goddess. You know what I mean? So I never knew that Peter Pan, he was just living in the astral world, and Captain Hook himself was Crow. Yo, you see, Dr. Bass, how they be hiding this stuff in plain sight, bro. I'm telling you, with the symbology and the fucking, yo, the deciphering of all these codes. But yo, for real, you might as well go back and watch Peter Pan, whether it be the Robin Williams or the original animated movie based off of it, and even watch that movie, What Dreams May Come. I I don't think I watched that movie, but I'm definitely gonna watch it to see. Bro, it reminds me of the Voodoo Quantum Leap. I believe the first chapter, within the first two chapters, Reginald Crossley himself explains the afterlife is literally what you make it. And I totally agree with Brother Panic, simply because the information, the facts that were already researched based off of the quantum level that Reginald Crossley himself researched makes so much sense. The afterlife is what you make it. Christians believing that there is a hell out there. Guess what? What they've allowed the cracker, the image that they allowed the preachers and these stupid motherfuckers to create in their mind, that is the fucking afterlife that they're gonna experience. Simply because, yeah, like what Brother Panic said, it's not because you died that's why you're going to hell. You're going to hell because of the fucked up mindset that you created, the image that you created for yourself. You're a god and you don't even know you're a god. That's why who you are is not important. Because always like to use the example of Jim Carrey as an actor. He's one actor, but guess what? He played multiple characters throughout his career. So at one moment he can be the Riddler from Batman, another moment he could be Ace Ventura, another moment he could be Fletcher Reed, another moment he could be his character from Dumb and Dumber, and another moment he could be Truman Burbank. You catch my drift, Dr. Bass? Who you are is not important because it's just a character. What you are, a multi-dimensional spiritual being, a source being, a fractional source being having a temporary human experience. Don't fucking let nobody tell you what your life should be. You are what you make your life. Man, let me just put on the video right here. Brandon, thank you so much, bro. And as we're wrapping this one up, yeah, bro, just, yeah, share with the people. Let them know what it is that should be done. Just let them know, brother, because man, I told you, I didn't even expect this one to be as good as it was today, bro. Facts, straight up. Like, of all the ones that we did, this may very well be our best one. I'm telling you, my brother, we've been touching topics people don't like to be talking about. Death, you should embrace that motherfucker. If the situation ever comes, killing yourself is the best thing you have to do, go through with it, because this physical realm ain't shit. You got to make sure that you have the right mentality, that you're in the right frame of mind, that you're not out of your mind, but you're within your mind, so that you take control of your own destiny. Because guess what? There's no God out there that's gonna come to save you. If that was the fucking case, then all the gods, beginning with ancient Egypt, have already failed us. But guess what? Our ancient ancestors, way back in ancient Egypt, they knew that they left metaphors and symbols and stuff for us to decode what it was that they were saying. They didn't give us no fairy tales that we should take literal. You know what I mean? Brandon, thank you so much for the opportunity, bro. Please let the people know what it is as we wrap this one up.
Oh yeah, that's a good one to be honest, because it's like as we kind of like see like it's really all like a mindset, like how they were saying like that's why most people who commit suicide go to like we just reincarnate. I think he left, but yeah, that's why they just reincarnate type joint. I think his phone like died or something like that. But like yeah, but basically, I hope you liked the video. If you did, make sure you like the video, subscribe, and follow for more podcast episodes. If you want to be on a podcast episode, just let me know and hit me up. Okay. Well, thank you. Bye bye.